Hello everyone, this is Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. And I just saw the Stranger Things Season 3 trailer, and it got me thinking that this is what I wish there was more of. And I do like Stranger Things. I enjoyed the first season, I think a lot more than the second one, though I did enjoy the second one still, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to definitely watch the third one, and I hope it's good. The point that I want to make, though, is that when you're really interested in a story, or it gets you hyped for the story itself and not all the sort of peripheral things like, what kind of race the characters are, if there's a female lead, all these other, they're just seriously peripheral things. They're aesthetics to it. And sometimes they're not even that. They're meaningless. And so, it seems like often the talk that happens in public about entertainment, when it's at its best, it's talking about the entertainment itself. It's talking about what is in the story, and it has people writing stuff like this, clues from the season 3 trailer, and just speculation on the story. Has nothing to do with who's writing it, with the actors that are in it, or anything like that. It's about the story. That's how you are immersed in something. So unfortunately for comic books, it feels like that's missing. It feels like things used to be like that. At least, I'm thinking back to like the days of Stan Lee even. For sure, after that, there have been lots of times when comics have been interesting because of the story itself, and it has been less about all the peripheral things. So I'm hesitant to show any of the trailer from season 3 because every time I play clips, not every time, but much of the time when I play clips from something, I get like a copyright claim. So I'm not even going to do that because, it's not worth it. But yeah, again, this is just speculating, and it's about the story. It has nothing to do with anything else other than that. So it got me thinking a little bit about Stan Lee and the fact that he was able to get people to do this. He did it himself. He was a really good salesman of stories. It wasn't really like a salesman of, he sold comics, of course, but it had less to do, again, with the things around the comic and a whole lot more to do with the comic itself, with the actual story. And so this was a really interesting article from The Source, and Death of a Salesman. And it was interesting because I didn't realize that Stan Lee, if you can credit him to giving credit to the creative team on the splash page, that's something that they pointed out there. And so the creative team, the people behind the book, they're important. And I know that he did a good job of, promoting the creative people, but he, primarily, especially, he did a really good job promoting himself. And I've got to wonder, in today's day and age, with the lay of the land as it is right now for comic books, if you're going independent and you're making comic books, you have to be able to promote yourself. But I would argue that it's also the same in the comic industry, like at Marvel Comics. There still has to be some kind of a promotion. But where's that line between promoting the creators, and the things around the thing, and just promoting the story? And I think a lot of that has to do with just writing a good story, having something that people are going to enjoy, and then naturally they're going to want to speculate over it. But some of the things here, we'll just take this comic book cover, for example. You've got a cover here, and it could just be the cover here, but he did stuff like this, where there's like some inside information of, oh no, like there's something else happening on the page, or they'd put different words or taglines on the cover. That's something to do with the story itself, to try and get you pulled in. Even this is something you don't see very often, but dialogue right on the cover that's I guess teasing the trailer. I don't know that I'm not necessarily saying that this is the way to go about things. I'm just saying that this is a way that Stan Lee went about things, and it's really, really hard to argue with his success there. So what does television have? What does, specifically Stranger Things have that a lot of comics are missing today? I will say it's amazing when you have a story that's so well done. It's so unique. It's some, different angle on things. People feel like it's fresh and new. This is, fresh and new. That's funny because this is totally banking in on nostalgia and, admittedly so. But it does get people excited about storytelling or just consuming a story. I haven't felt that way in quite a while when it comes to comics. I almost feel like I'm habitually, like I've said this before, I follow the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books because they just have a special place in my heart, something that I have enjoyed ever since I was a kid. And so following those comics, it's something that sometimes you're driven by the story, but a lot of the time you're just driven by the franchise, I guess, so to speak. And so with Stranger Things number 3, I will say that from season 1 into season 2, I was 100% driven by the story. I wanted to know what was going to happen after. From season 2 to season 3, it's much less so. But obviously, it's still there, and it's going to vary from person to person. So how do you get that? How do you capture that? What stories do that for you, where you don't care about all the other things about the story or who's making it or, their personal politics or all that kind of stuff? How are you able to escape? That's what I'm looking for. Forget everything else and just escape into the story. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. And don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you're interested in joining my mailing list for Downcast, please do so. It's, again, in the description below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.